Happy Monday.
It may be Monday, but it feels like Friday in my heart.
Does it?
It always feels like Friday in my heart, though, to be fair.
For people that don't know us, I'm Shannon from WDW Prep
And I'm Heather from WDWPrepSchool.com. That's a hard to say all in one go.
Do you know what? It is. As someone who's been podcasting for 12 and a half years, I regret it.
Yeah. I don't often say the full thing. So
Mm-mm.
kudos to
Mm-mm.
you.
No, I think when you pick a business name, it should be unique and people should be able to remember it and you should be able to say it.
Say it. It's like when you're picking a kid's name, you have to be able to yell it correctly. It needs to sound good and feel good when you're screaming it.
Yep. But we thought we would go live, and I have had this idea for like a morning show kind of format because I love joining people online when they go, online every day and to see what's going on, what's the current status, and we just have stuff we want to talk about.
Sure.
What's your drink of choice this morning?
Well, a funny story. I thought I'm going to be so prepared. Like nighttime Heather is going to look out for morning Heather. So I got my coffee all set up and I cleaned the coffee pot and I made sure that I had the creamer that I like. And I set it to go off at 6:30 this morning. And so the smell would be filling the house and waking me up and it would be delightful. And I just went in there to pour myself a cup and I did everything but add the coffee. So it
Oh,
was
it's water.
water. So instead, I'm having
Diet Coke and water.
Diet Coke one and then a spare, an air and
Oh,
a
I see.
spare.
All right, you're double fisting it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my simple modern cup, but I want to show it really close. Look how worn it is. Can you tell I like using it?
Yes,
Simple Modern makes the cutest Disney cups.
they do.
Also non-Disney cups, but this one
Not
happens to be a Disney
sponsored,
one.
but we would like to be.
Yes, hit us up, Simple Modern. We love you. But I do the French press coffee every morning, and I could go on a whole tirade about how people think that is so pretentious, but all it is coffee grounds and hot water, and that's it. My barometer is if you can do it while camping, it can't be that pretentious.
It can't be that pretentious.
So that is what I've got going over here. Do I look like I'm from the 90s with my shirt?
Yeah.
It's Disney.
Oh, it's retro.
Yeah, it's like retro.
It looks like
and
you've like cut your shirt and ripped it and stretched it out.
yeah, do I look cool?
You do. Well, that's the first thing I thought of.
Or just outdated. I don't know. I like it. So, and you know what? That's all that matters, honestly.
It is.
Today we wanted to talk about what's coming this week at Disney World because there's a whole list of things to know about, including closures. We also want to talk about some news related to Gideon's because they are expanding in a way that we're kind of excited about.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about runDisney tips because what we've got here is a new runDisney person, and I'm not talking about me, who loves it and is new enough to know what information is needed for new people, but not like experienced enough to have forgotten, that early stuff.
Yeah.
So you know what, more than somebody who's never been, and it can be helpful to get into it. And it worked on you, like somebody taught you.
Yep.
And you fell hard.
And I fell so hard. So yeah, it's very excited.
So we're going to talk about runDisney tips from Heather Thomas today. Won't that be fun? Okay, so shall we start with the week ahead?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot going on. And let's start with the freeze warning. Can we talk about the cold at Disney World?
Mm-hmm.
Or just in Florida in general? It hits so different.
Yes. It's that humidity, right? The humidity just makes everything. It makes the heat worse. It makes the cold worse. And there's just something, though, about seeing people posting pictures and videos and stuff from Florida right now in their coats and their hats and gloves. It's really hard for my brain to process. I've been there before when it's been that cold.
Yes, you have, with me whining and whining and whining. How many like blankets and jackets and things that we had to buy because we were thrown off by like even 50 can feel very cold in Florida. And even people from the north, like who are in snow, will say that because the humidity, it just really cuts through you. But they have freeze warnings. So obviously that's warnings cold, no matter where you are. Yeah. But don't ignore the forecast this time of year. because it could be 70, it might be 30.
And what layers? That's just
Layers, because the
layers.
afternoons might be great.
So definitely plan for that.
Yeah, so that is happening this week, and anybody traveling this time of year should watch for that so you know what to pack. What else? Festival of the Arts started on Friday. So that lasts until February 23rd. And
Yes.
a very cold kickoff for Festival of the Arts. I know we have taken many photos at Festival of the Arts where we were just trying to like get a magic shot or photo pass picture and had a coat on. And we're like, okay, you have to take the coat off for the picture. Take the picture, put the coat back on.
Put the coat back on so you can see our cute shirts. That was very important. It's such a short festival that it's unfortunate that it's starting off so cold.
It is very, very unfortunate. And it's also a really fun, lovely one. And we'll talk more about Festival of the Arts maybe tomorrow about like our favorite things to do there because we've been so many times and they have a couple new things that they're offering this year, but maybe we'll get more into that tomorrow. Another thing that is kicking off this week, is it Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday
is after hours.
Yeah.
Oh, Magic Kingdom is tonight.
Well, yeah, Magic Kingdom already started. They started last week. They had their first one, but Epcot's first one is tonight.
Epcot after hours, Magic Kingdom after hours. We were so excited when they announced that the after hours are coming back because it's one of our favorite things.
Yes. And wait, I misspoke. Epcot is Thursday. Magic Kingdom second one is tonight. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I thought that's what we said, but that is true in case we messed it up before. But we love the after hours events. Love them. So
very much.
When they announced they were coming back, we were like, yes, we genuinely think these are one of the best, like people always say, is it worth it? Yeah. After hours events are absolutely worth it. And they're offered throughout the year in 3 of the parks, Epcot, Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios.
Yes. The only time they're not generally offered is when we get closer to the parties, right? When things when that starts happening. So outside of that, it's a great way to knock out a bunch of attractions and the parks feel almost empty, not like creepy COVID empty, but in a nice way. And
creepy COVID empty is a special kind.
Yeah, it's not like that. It's just it's in a good way. There's usually perks associated with it and with the cost of your ticket, like snacks, and Magic Kingdom has special entertainment. So definitely worth it.
Yeah. There's a lot to love about them. That could be another topic too, that we talk about why we love the after hours, because it is a good one. And we also have some closures. There are things that are still closed. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad closed January 6th. It is opening in spring. I'm excited about this because they are doing some upgrades to it. The Disneyland version is so good. And I'm like, oh, now it can kind of compete.
Yeah. And it's been closed since last January 6th. It's been closed.
Oh, right. January 6th, 2025.
Yes, it is.
But it reopens this spring.
Yeah, a long time. So I'm sure there is a lot of pent up anticipation for that one.
Yeah, if it closed this year, it wouldn't have been enough time for the kind of overhaul that they are talking about. Buzz Lightyear, speaking of being closed last year, it closed last August and it is still closed. We'll reopen this spring. That's another like much needed upgrade.
Yeah. Very excited for that one. Makes me really sad. And you saw this in the queue for Buzz Lightyear, and you see it in the queue for Slinky Dog Dash, and in the queue for Toy Story Mania. Is the walls and everything will look amazing, and then people, guests, when they're standing in line, will start picking at things, and they just keep picking and picking and picking until they start ripping things off, and it makes me so mad. It makes me really mad. Do this? I don't know.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do it. So hopefully they'll be fixing some of those things in addition to all the other little issues that Buzz had.
Yeah, I'm sure us saying don't do that is going to fix it.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't you think? Yeah. Okay. That is, let's see, what did we just say last? Big Thunder Mountain and Buzz. And then Blizzard Beach is doing its yearly closure. It reopens February 15th. So there's usually only one water park open, but in the summer, there'll be both, right? Pete Silly Sideshow closed January 4th. We don't know when it's reopening.
Don't know.
It's a big mystery. For people that don't know, it's at Magic Kingdom in the Fantasyland section.
Yeah.
And I would say parents of younger kids tend to like the space a lot because it's kind of catered to them, but it's just
Yeah.
not available right now.
Oh.
Closing soon, like in the next week or so, Frozen Ever After closes a week from today, January 26th. It's just to update their faces.
Their faces, they're flat, weird faces. The flat, weird faces. I don't like those. So I'm very, very glad that they are finally going to get like faces with some dimension to them.
Yeah. And when I figure out this recording platform that we're using to be able to show images of things, I will incorporate them. But we're just learning how things work for now. What else is going? What's next on the list?
There's lots of pool closures that happen this time of year, which is pretty standard. In fact, refurbishments in general are pretty common this time of year because it tends to be a little bit slower time of the year. So over at All Star Sports, the surfboard, bay pool, and kiddie pool are closed up until April. Old Key West has a pool down. That's the Turtle Pond pool. It's closed. Excuse me. There's a pool, one of the leisure pools closed over at Yacht Club, not Stormalong Bay. It was down last year for a major refurbishment, so not that one. I think it's the Admirals, or correct me if I'm wrong, but it's something like that. Excuse me. And then finally, over at Wilderness Lodge, not a pool, but the boat dock is down over there. It's closed up through April. So no boat transportation.
Only from January 12th to the 30th, there's no boat transportation. After this month, it'll still be under maintenance, but the boat transportation will resume after January 30th. The Skyliner is also closing January 25th through the 31st, so Sunday to Sunday. And this is obviously really important if you're staying at a Skyliner resort, because normally when you pick a Skyliner resort, you're choosing it in huge part because it's on a Skyliner. Yeah. But they close almost every January for a little while to do the maintenance. And they have even gotten on top of it and started announcing it way out.
Very far. Like did they already announce next year's, I think?
Yes. And when I posted it on social media, I had to be clear. This is 2027. I know this is way ahead, but they have already announced it. And it's just almost always, it's something to know if anybody wants to go in January. You're probably going to have closures, including the Skyliner.
Yeah. Good to know.
Pools.
Now, can we talk about some news? Because I really want to talk about this Gideon's news because I'm very excited.
Yes, the Gideon's news. So most people listening are probably familiar with Gideon's, but if they're not, it's a very popular cookie place in Disney Springs. And what would you say characterizes Gideon's? Huge cookies.
The huge cookies. The theme is very, very unique.
Very detailed. The decor. Yeah, it's very ornate, right? Very good.
Like whimsical gothic fantasy.
And their cookies are half pound each.
Yeah.
And they're so good, and so much so that there's usually a really long line. And at times, although I'm not sure if they've done this in a while, they have had a queue system where you can check in and then they'll call you back. But generally, it's just a pretty long line. But they have announced that they are expanding into a whole new concept. And it's called Six Ravens.
And it's savory.
Savory. So it is coming to Disney Springs later in 2026. We don't know an exact date. We just know later. They made the announcement on their 5-year anniversary of Gideon's, which was last week. And they decided to mark their anniversary with this new expansion. It's going to be near the current Gideon's. It used to be called Art of Shaving, and it's near Gideon's, but it's going to be this new concept a few doors down in the landing area. And what's it going to offer?
The most important thing, potatoes. Thank you.
Potatoes, yes. When we were reading this announcement, I was like, wait, they just announced all of Heather's favorite things, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least a lot of them.
Yeah. Definitely a list of some of my top favorites. It sounds like a hand pie. So like a crust with filling inside of it, a savory hand pie, not like a sweet one, but a savory one. Potatoes, which the photos, I really wish you could put an image up because the photos, it looks absolutely freaking delicious. And local draft beers with some select dessert offerings from Gideon's Bakehouse. So, I mean, does it get any better?
The old school ham pies called coffins,
Oh yeah,
savory pies. Ding. That's their like main attraction. Ding. And then all these other things that Heather mentioned: draft beer, potatoes, some dessert offerings. And because this is what the owner often does, he wanted to make sure he collaborated with local Orlando chefs. So a lot of the items are going to be in collaboration with other people, not just him. And I did interview him for the podcast once, and I'm not sure, like, I know his focus has been like the cookies and getting like the perfect mix and dough. And I wonder if the savory stuff he's like leaving to other people. He's like, I got the dough. I've got the pastry part of it figured out. Now I need your help with the savory filling. Yeah, that's my theory about it.
It's a great one. I know no matter what, it's going to be delicious.
Yeah. So we will look forward to that. I know not everyone's a Disney Springs fan, but there's a lot of good food.
Yeah. A lot of good food. And there's been a couple closures recently, like Sprinkles, not just at Disney Springs, but everywhere. I mean, that's gone now. And clearly the Art of Shaving is gone. And there's been a couple other ones that have been announced recently. So it's always nice to get something new open up over there. So excited to have another place to check out. There's so many places though to eat anymore that I don't know that I could get through it all in a year of just trying different places.
And Heather says this is somebody who writes a lot about Disney Springs things. It's too much. It's too much. There's a lot of choices. Not to brag, but I do think I can navigate from the Disney bus stop to Gideon's directly. It confused me for a long time. I think I can get there without even looking at a map or an app.
Yeah. Do you remember that one time I tried to walk back by myself from Raglan Road, which is directly across from Gideon's, and I got lost? Exactly. So
yeah. Okay.
Follow me for more tips.
We're going to keep working it. It's that middle section of Disney Springs. I just want anybody to know if they are confused navigating that you're not alone. We've been there a million times, still confused.
Still confused. It's so hard.
We're not going to make dirty jokes, okay?
I held it in. And I didn't say anything.
So that's a kind of recent news item that we're excited about trying in probably the fall, or at least later 2026 is what they said. So let's move on to a next topic. So what do you do if you are Run Disney curious, but you're not sure where to get started? Luckily, Heather has some tips. Where would you like to start with the Run Disney tips, ma'am?
Well, can we start with training?
Before the Run Disney race, of course.
Yes. So I would like to start with training, please. Thank you. Here's my thought. If you're somebody who is thinking about possibly doing Run Disney, especially if you have never done a race before, a few things to know. Number one, Run Disney, I have found to be so extremely friendly for new runners, for beginner runners, for back of the pack runners, for party pace runners. If you are somebody who is just dipping your toe or even thinking about dipping your toe into it, putting on some running shoes and getting out there, I have found it to be welcoming and friendly and a safe spot to give that a try.
But can I ask a question as somebody who has never actually run a Run Disney race, that this is one of my anxieties is, okay, let's say I'm a beginner. So you're telling me it's beginner friendly. How do I know that they're not going to scoop me up on the course in front of everybody?
In front of everybody? Well, that's part of the training. So the minimum pace requirement for a Run Disney race is 16-minute miles. That 16-minute mile starts with the very last people who cross that start line. They are called the balloon ladies, which people fear, but you should not. They're very lovely ladies. They are going to hold a consistent 16-minute pace the entire course.
And are they at every race?
They're at
or just
every
longer
race.
Races?
Every single race.
Even the 5Ks.
Every race. You've got the balloon ladies there who are going to be holding that 16-minute pace. That being said, if you start in a corral earlier, when you think about these races, you could have upwards of 12,000, 15,000 people participating. It takes a while for people from the first corral, which is usually corral A, and that usually goes all the way down to corral G. It takes a while to get all of those people released. Inside of each corral, you'll have several waves. So, I mean, you're looking at the possibility of, depending on which corral you're in, even if you're in that very last corral, having several additional minutes, possibly per mile. So right there, you've got a little bit of a buffer. If I was new and starting it though, I would definitely aim to have that 16-minute pace and then hope that maybe you get a little bit more of a buffer. If you do that, you're not going to get swept from the course. You'll be safe.
Okay. Can we talk about the one time when we were at Disney World and you decided to make sure you could test your own pace in Disney World and you took off and I didn't know? And I was like, why is she walking so fast away from me? And you were like, oh, I was just practicing. I was like, oh, because my childhood trauma told me that you were abandoning me.
I was in my head. I was thinking now would be a great time to check to see how fast I could walk in case I needed to walk one. So yeah, sorry about that.
And it did work for you because you have now done multiple runDisney races without being scooped.
Yes, that was the confidence booster I needed right then in that moment to be able to do it. So, but start sooner than what you think you're going to need. Especially, like I said, if you've never done it before, start sooner than what you think. Lots of training plans out there will have like a 12-week, or you may have just seen everybody run the marathon weekend, like one of the races during marathon weekend, and you think, I want to try that. Don't wait until the official start date for the marathon programs that runDisney puts out or your favorite influencer puts out. Instead, I would start now. The longer and more time you have to work on your endurance and your pace and all that, the more confident you're going to feel. And the goal of, at least for me, for a Disney race is to not just finish, but finish well and be able to go to the parks afterwards. I don't want to be hurting or in pain or spend my time in bed trying to recover. I want to be able to joyously and get to the parks and enjoy the parks too afterwards. So that's okay. I would say that. If you struggle with it, my favorite way is to gamify. Like I gamify everything in my life anymore because I'm at an age where I need a reason. So run someplace where you know you can get your favorite drink or a coffee or a Diet Coke, or where you can meet a friend or grab brunch. Like create a reason to get out there and do it.
Yeah, and we should also say you have a milestone birthday coming in a couple of weeks, and that was, I think, part of your motivation for running, like, now or never. And I had the same milestone birthday a year ago, so it's never too late. Like you can get started at any age.
Yep.
And I think there's lots of people there, right, from all generations.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And it is impressive, the display of athletes who are at the runDisney races. You have people in all different bodies, all different ages, all different abilities, and they're all freaking athletes, busting it, kicking booty, doing great. So with that being said, walking, I think, is a tool you can use, and it's not a sin. There's no way I could walk a 16-minute pace for a whole race, but plenty of people do. My legs are short, and I'm just not a fast walker. But if you can incorporate run walk, the Galloway method is a huge thing in runDisney sphere. You're gonna be great. So that would be, before you even hit the course, you should be trained and prepared, and hopefully in a place where you'll be relaxed and able to enjoy and have fun.
Okay, training.
So training, check.
What's next?
You want to. The great thing I think about the runDisney races is not just that it's beginner friendly. That's fun too. It's a whole experience. I view runDisney races as my reward for doing the training. I view my local races as the proof that I've been putting in the work. When I approach a Run Disney race, I'm not looking to get a PR or to outdo myself from a previous race. I want to run at a pace that gets me fast enough so I can meet all the characters that I want to meet. And stopping for characters means I'm never going to get a PR there. So,
but also if you don't stop for characters, you're kind of missing the point of a Run Disney race.
yes, yes. And there's lots of people who will never stop for anything, and you can get your BQ, you can Boston qualify at the marathon. There are people who are hardcore that's what they want to do. They're elite athletes. They want to run the race because it's a Disney race and they want to run through the parks and they don't care about the characters. But for me, the registration is not inexpensive. It's a hefty chunk of change, and traveling there isn't inexpensive. And I want to get my value. And part of the fun for me is to stop for characters. So that's something else to kind of keep in mind, I guess, when you're training too, is if that's a goal that you want to be able to stop for characters, you're going to have a pace that will allow you. Sometimes the character lines are short and it's 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes the character lines are long and they can be upwards of 20 minutes. Now, if you are a 9-minute miler, that's not scary. If you are at a 16-minute miler, there's no way you can stop for a character line that's long and still make it across the line. So that would be something definitely to think about, is what kind of experience do you want out of the race? Are you going to go to set that PR? Or are you going to go just to enjoy the whole experience? If you're the latter person and you're going for the more chilled, relaxed, you just want to enjoy it, get your character photos, run through the parks, enjoy all that. I think that takes some of the pressure off personally. Save the pressure for when you're like at home and you can sleep in your own bed, because that's one of the big things, negatives about Run Disney races, is the alarm clock, which is brutal.
Yes, it's in the middle of the night.
It is the middle of the night because it's fun to run through the parks, but they're not going to let you run through the parks when the parks are open or when it could be open. So to do that, buses start picking up at the Disney resorts around 3 a.m.
All Disney resorts?
All Disney resorts, all on-site resorts. You can also drive. We have successfully taken Lyft as well. But on property, I think using the Disney buses is probably your best bet. It's that alarm is very, it's rough. I'm not going to lie. It is not easy getting up. And if you're doing a challenge, so if you're doing like 2, 3, or even 4 races in one weekend, that's that many days in a row that you're waking up. And that is a little rough on the old body.
Does the starting time vary depending on the length of the race? Because like a 5K doesn't take as long as a half marathon.
I think the only one that varies any is the half marathon starts maybe 30 minutes earlier. I may be wrong. But they all start at the same time and within 30 minutes at the same time. It's just that sometimes you're going to, like the marathon, the park delays, like Epcot delays opening for the marathon. And it might delay opening for the half marathons too by 30 minutes.
So 3 a.m. is a pretty typical bus start time.
Oh, yes. The bus it's always going to be a 3 a.m. bus. 5K, it doesn't, It's super early. Unlike other races too, some races you have the option to pick up your bibs same day. It is mandatory that you pick up your bibs ahead of your races for Disney.
That's saying some non-Disney races you pick up your bib same day, but for Disney it's earlier.
It is, you need to pick it up ahead of time. That being said, I have read accounts of people having success picking up their bib at the race, but you forfeit like your shirts and anything else. You should expect and you not to be able to pick it up, and if you do, you're only going to get your bib. So you pick up your bib a day early at least. The expo is a lot of fun at Disney. If you've never been to a race expo before, you pick up your bib, you get your gear check bag, which is the only bag you can use to check gear to pick up after the race. You get that's where they have all the cute Brooks Run Disney shoes.
Yes, if you guys have ever seen the character-inspired shoes or the attraction-inspired shoes, this is where they are, and they're often very limited quantities.
Yes, very limited. And they'll have like race-specific ones, and they'll have just generic character ones. The race-specific ones tend to go the fastest because people want a shoe to commemorate the race that they just ran or they're going to run. Your Run Disney merch, they'll have vendors. Like if you forget something, like you forgot your gels or sunglasses, or you want a cute different outfit or a costume, because costumes are a big deal with Run Disney races. You can get those at the expo.
And that's just before the day of your race.
It starts the day before the 5K and it continues through the day before the last race. So however many races there are that weekend, you'll have that many.
So even if you arrive on Saturday, you'll be able to go for a Sunday race.
Yes, correct. The expo. Yep, you just have to get there before it closes. Grab your bib and you'll be good. Can we talk a little bit about race day etiquette?
We can talk about race day etiquette, but you were talking. I have a question because you were talking about things to do beforehand, like with training. But another thing you have to do beforehand is registration.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
So, like chronologically, because that's something to stress about. Like the training is something to stress about before you get there, because you got to be fast enough. But also, you have to get registered.
Yes, the registration for a Run Disney event is similar to trying to buy tickets to a popular concert, because
like an Eras tour.
Yes, it is limited availability, and everybody wants in. So it's very competitive. Spots will go within 30 minutes. Lots of things will be gone. If you would like to participate, just go ahead and take off work. As you know, I put it on our calendar, our internal calendar.
Heather takes off work.
I take off to do registration for Run Disney events, because that is what it's like. You, just like with a lot of Disney things, you enter a queue, you get placed in a queue randomly, and then depending on where your spot in the queue is, you'll kind of know what your chances are, and then you hit the floor running when it's your turn to register. You want to make sure you have all of your information ready to go. I recommend having a note or a Google Doc or something opened where you can just copy and paste quickly your information. Unlike when you go to buy something, like when you go shopping and you like put something in your cart, it like holds it. With Run Disney races, it is not like that. It will look like there's something open and you can click on it to register, and then all the spots can sell out while you're entering in your information. So nothing is guaranteed until you hit submit.
That is such a bummer.
It is a huge bummer, and that has happened to me before. So don't.
That's how you know.
That's how I know. That is how I know.
But do you, to optimize your chances, I know that you will have multiple devices going.
Yes. Which is kind of a controversial thing, but don't hate the player, hate the game. I know I'm not the only one who's doing it.
But once you register, you release your other spot, so it moves everybody up. It's not like it does anything to anyone. You're only taking a spot.
Correct. Yeah. So, and you can also tell that other people are doing that, not just because I know other people are doing that, because your time in the queue will jump, like it'll go slowly, incrementally, and then all of a sudden you'll jump ahead, 45 minutes. And that's because people ahead who had 8 windows open are closing it. So it's like different devices. I also recommend using different browsers
and multiple people, because you can register other people.
You can. And so this is where you have to have a strategy with whomever you're going with. There are 2 ways you could do that. Number 1, you could register everybody on one transaction, or you could register one person, get them secured, go back out, register the next person, go back out. If you were only going to do the race, if you and all your friends can get in, I would do it all in one transaction. Then everybody's in or nobody's in. If you are going to do it no matter what, and it would just be nice if your friends can go, do them one at a time.
Okay, that's good, because it would be a shame if everybody was trying to register themselves and like 2 out of 5 get in. It's like, well, now what? But if you're all doing it at the same time, then it's we're all in or we're not.
Yes. Yes. If you somehow miss out, which will happen for a lot of people if you miss out, you have the option to do charity bibs. There are charity bibs available. Just know that when you sign up to do that, you are also committing to raising however much money that organization is asking for in exchange for the bib. And your bib is not released until you have reached that requirement. I have gone that route before. It is very
with Give Kids the World.
With Give Kids the World. It is very gratifying to do that. And if you're somebody who likes to do that, and you have people in your sphere that will support you, then absolutely go charity bibs.
Can we talk about your method for raising money, which was to tell people, if I don't get money, you're gonna make me do a horrible thing or something like that?
Yeah. I threatened myself.
She used emotional manipulation.
I absolutely emotionally manipulated patrons from WDW Prep School that if I could not get enough money raised, I would have to do something terrifying that I don't like, which was one of those big swingy things in Orlando. No, in Orlando. You know what? I can't think what it's called. Like, it's like a slingshotty thing. Oh, and it's not at Disney World. It's like on I-9 or somewhere.
It's like a carnival ride. Yeah.
Yep. I was going to do that. Thankfully, we raised enough money and I didn't have to do it. But it was touch and go there for a while. I was scheduling my appointment with a therapist on how to get over my fear of heights, but I was going to do it.
That's a pretty awful thing. That'd be like me saying, I'll jump in the ocean. No.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So I think, the charity bibs. Oh, yes. And then the last thing, if for some reason, like the last thing with this, if for some reason you don't get your bib and you don't want to do a charity bib, there are instances where charities return their bibs and people have to say, hey, I can't race, and they return their bib. You don't get your money back and you can't defer, but people will release their bibs back to Disney. When that happens, Disney will then release bibs back out to the public, and they don't announce it, but there are alerts that you can sign up for that come through apps like Telegram or even Slack or Discord that I think it's runDiz alerts. And you will get a notification that those are open, and it's just whoever's fastest. And it's literally 1, maybe 2 at a time. And it's literally whoever's fastest and can get registered. We have been successful with that as well. So I am a real live person who has had success with that, to be able to get somebody who didn't get registered initially registered.
And anything else on registration before we hop back to etiquette?
I don't think so. I think just if you are in the Disney sphere and you've bought tickets or done things before, it's going to feel familiar. The faster you can be, the better. Okay.
All right. So what is race day etiquette? I am excited to hear this because I have no idea.
Well, I think this is important, and I didn't realize how important it was when I was new to Disney races, but I realize how important it is now after I have several under my belt, and especially since it's so many new runners that participate. In that there's just general race day etiquette period for all races, and just like when you go to an airport where you have new travelers, I think Orlando Airport is a good example of that, where you have people who aren't necessarily used to traveling by air. Knowing ahead of time how it works, I think makes it easier on everybody on race day. So you get placed in your corral based upon your time. To be in one of those first corrals, like usually A, B, C, you'll get placed up there if you provide a proof of time. That proof of time will prove to Disney that you can run that pace, with the idea that you keep people in the same paces kind of grouped together, that it will go more smoothly, right? The hiccup comes when there are character lines and people are stopping. So you have people who are maybe a 9-minute mile or who are stopping for characters. And if they're in Corral C and you've got people who are slower who have already started and they're stopping. So now you've got people with mixed paces are all starting to kind of get mixed together, right? So that's where it becomes very important that if you are somebody who's slower or if you plan on walking, you want to stick to the right side of the road. Don't the left side, just like when you're driving, left side for faster people, right side for people who are slower. If you are a run walker and you are transitioning between running and walking, your hand goes up. Raise your hand up real high and start making your way over to the right. Do not raise your hand up real high and stop. Like you want to start merging. So you want to go from running, walking, you're going to merge to the right hand side. If you are with friends, you do not create a wall of people. It's very difficult. And even when you're not with friends, you're just going with people who are running the same pace or walking the same pace. Just like when you're on a highway, it's very annoying when there's 3 cars who are all going the same pace and you can't get around. So just be mindful of that. I am guilty of doing all of these things wrong several times during a race, but I try to be better. And I think it helps and it makes everybody's experience a little bit better if people can just kind of follow those rules. Don't stop in the middle, just like when you're in a car. Don't stop in the middle of a road. People will see the mile signs, and they're so cute. They're usually like big and lit up, and they always have a character, and people like to take a picture with them or whatever. But you can't just stop in the middle of the road and do it. You got to make your way over there and take your turn and get your spot and then merge back into traffic. So just treat it like you're in a car, but it's your body, and just, yeah, slower to the right. I think that's the big one. Slower to the right. I am definitely on the right-hand side because I am slow.
You got your hand in
yeah, just like I'm waving it like I'm in school.
That's just to be seen. Yeah. You're like, I'm kind of short.
I'm shorter.
Make sure you see.
I'm short. Short and slow.
Okay, what else?
I would say the last thing, just want to talk about real quick, what to kind of maybe think about taking with you for race day, especially after seeing how warm it was for marathon weekend and how cold it is right now. And I've got the Princess Half Marathon coming up just over a month from now for that weekend. So it's kind of the same concept as what you do for the parks, is that for these early races of the year, for marathon, Princess especially, you want to have at least be prepared to have throwaway layers, things that you can just toss along the course that you don't care that you're going to lose. Goodwill is a great place to get things like that. Robes are awesome because you don't have to take anything off and you can just wrap up. Mylar blankets, ponchos if it's going to be rainy. Last year they had several very rainy races, so having ponchos that you can try to keep warm while you're waiting for the race, because remember, those buses are picking you up at 3. I think the races start at 5 or 5:30, so you've got hours where you are outside with nothing but a sea of porta potties, and no place to like really get undercover. Your pre-race snack, because you might eat in the room at 2 a.m. while you're getting ready to go to the race, or 2:30 if you're like me and you're just going to wait to the last minute. But you're going to need something else probably as you get closer to the race. They do have concessions that are open. You can buy coffee. There's a DJ. It is a whole vibe the morning of the race when you're at the race start. So you do have the opportunity, if you forget to bring a snack, you can buy that. You can get, like I said, coffee. There's DJs, there's characters, there's bleachers for if you have spectators that are joining you, that they can sit and hang out and watch things. You'll want to have your ID if you are like me and you need a parking lot beer afterwards, because it is a reward for doing the race. So you'll need to have an ID. You'll need to have a way to pay. So a Magic Band, your credit card. And then if you do decide that you want to check anything, you are provided a bag at the expo. That's the only bag you can use. And you can put, shoes to change into. if you want to change your shirt because you know you're going to be sweaty, or you think you're going to go into the parks afterwards, if you want to bring like some wipes or something to kind of try to clean up a little bit, if you're going straight into the park, you can bring that and have it there waiting for you when you get off the course. So there you go. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It is. But there's so many sections to this niche though. Mm-hmm. And this is just another one. And like, you've been doing this for 20 years and this is just like a newer one for you. Yeah. And so it's fun that there's kind of all these different paths to go down.
Yes. It's very exciting. We'll have to, when I ordered my costumes yesterday. So for this next race, my costumes, I don't go all out, but I did get them ordered yesterday. So maybe I'll give you a peek of those when they get here, because I'm very excited.
You'll wear it on camera, test it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. That's part of the fun, is just like going to Disney, getting to play dress up a little bit, even if you are almost 50 years old.
Mm-hmm. All right. So thanks for sharing those tips. If people have like comments or questions, feel free to leave them below and then we will get back with you. But thanks for following along with the runDisney tips. Before we head out, I thought I would share some comments that people have left. Our friend Tom from the UK said, landing on Sunday, it's going to warm up. I'm sure he hopes so. Uh-huh. Anna says, the fam and I were at the first Magic Kingdom After Hours, and it was fantastic, although they did stop popcorn before midnight, which was a bummer. Ice cream and soda only for the last hour. That is interesting, right?
That is interesting. Maybe they just had to clean it up or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Tara says, love you ladies. Love all your info. Thank you, Tara. Kathy says, OMG, Disney Springs is so confusing. Yes, I haven't been in several trips. I'm going to venture there on my solo trip in February.
I'm glad to know I'm not the only one that gets confused.
Yes. And here's a question from Christine. Love the podcast. I listened to all the trip reports. Question about burner lightning lanes. How long after you book a burner can you then book another if you haven't tapped in? I made a big mistake at Hollywood Studios 2 weeks ago when I booked Frozen Ever After as a burner, but because it's a show, it didn't work as expected. It set off my day on the wrong foot, especially with Hollywood Studios being the most difficult of the parks for lightning lane. We had to wait at guest services to clear it off our plans before we could book something else. I thought when it expired, you could book another one.
Yes, but for that, it wouldn't have expired yet. It was probably too late in the day. I would say in that case, I would find something that's available right now.
And just modify it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that is helpful.
Even if it's, not something you want to ride, just do it. Tap it.
Going to Disneyland for the first time this June. Yay. This is Jamie. Will our Disney World Magic Bands work there? They do. The Magic Band Plus, which is what Disney World calls it, or it's called Disney Band on the cruises, works everywhere. Works at Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Cruise, Aulani, Vero Beach, everywhere for Disney. And the only tip is that you have to reconnect it almost every time. So I keep a Magic Band in my purse just because I do go between all the different properties all the time. And each time I go to a new one, like for instance, I went on a cruise in December, I had to go to the desk and say, can you make sure the Magic Band is connected here? And then when I go to Disney World, you can connect it yourself in the app.
Mm-hmm. So Disneyland the same way, you can do it in the app.
Exactly. Disneyland is the same way. But when people ask if Magic Band Plus is worth it, I'm like, if you go to all these different places, you definitely should probably get one because you can use it all different places. Christine says you're a wealth of knowledge, Heather.
Oh, thank you, Christine.
Misty says it looks like a mirrored image. You two look so much alike. We have never heard that.
Nah,
we just have curly hair. I think that might, and glasses.
I'm wearing my glasses today.
And we're about the same age. Yes. Next time when you come without your glasses, but I will never be here without my glasses because I will not be able to see you. And I don't have contacts. And then Jamie said, been listening since 2011 and love the podcast.
Oh,
so nice. This is our first time going live and doing this sort of chit chat show, but it's fun.
Yeah. It's a great way to start the workday.
Yes. Yes. This is how we're kicking off our day, and then we can go do our computer work the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for joining our first live, and we'll be back tomorrow to talk about some more stuff. See you then.
Bye.